Things aren't always what they seem, in places you should never be venturing, even in the most unlikely of places. What if on a crowded street you look up and see something that appeared that should not, given what we know, be there? You either shake your head and dismiss it, or you'll accept that there is much more to this world than we think. Perhaps it is really a doorway to another place. If you choose to go inside, you may find many unexpected things. Shigeru Miyamoto. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Leonardo da Vinci. Human aggression is instinctual. Humans have not evolved to any ritualized aggression and inhibiting mechanisms to ensure the survival of the species. For this reason, man is considered a very dangerous animal. Comrade Lorenz. It takes all the running you can do to just keep in one place. Lewis Carroll. Chapter 1. Bradley and Ben stared to the ceiling in the usual state of mind that he found himself in late at night. Brad suspected a couple of reasons for this. First of all, his metaphorical demons inside were rising. He was in no way an insomniac, but something was worrying him, something he could not easily explain or instinctually about his demons, or at least that was half of what it had to do with it that the therapist wouldn't listen to. At least without seeing any green. The other half of his terrible nocturnal grieving, he was sure, was something to do with a fishy vibe in the mountains north of the town in which he lived. What if that source had to do with the triggering his inner demons? He had never been up there, except once. Maybe it was because that mountain was always mysterious. This feeling of distrust was the one thing in his life that he did not trust besides his demons. He still feared. Brad had never discussed this with anyone. Even if he tried to, he knew it wouldn't work. His pain would only grow after every night when he'd peer out of his window in the pitch darkness and wonder what awaited up there of all places. He could tell it was actually a lair of some kind, and as soon as pain from the odd pulsing vibe became so emotionally unbearable that he was positive it had to do with an energy in the mountain. Whatever's inside cannot be good, Brad thought to himself. He also knew that he was going to have to face his rigid fears and consider crossing the rugged mountain bridge to the entrance on the other side. For ages he knew this, or it would haunt him. In fact, his town was in a valley residing below the mountain, which kind of added insult to injury. If he let it. This journey would definitely prove Brad was able to meet the beast source and control his demons, which would rest and even fade away so we can get back to a daily routine without creeping disruption. Or was that all there was selflessly to it? When he opened his blinds to let sunlight pour in the bedroom through the window, he still had a dark feeling inside. He feared eternal. If he got rid of it, would it only spread? Like a disease? Only Brad could prevent it so the demons would never return, and so he too would feel warmth of that sunlight, as though the mountain literally blocked it. Sometimes he felt something else, like whomever or whatever lurked up there created this growing dreadful, wretched feeling of disgust and sadness, and controlled it personally using whatever mechanisms. Or more than increasingly than the last day. It must have been aware that Brad wanted to end his manipulation. These unnatural, unhuman, sad feelings certainly weren't something that Brad would ever want. After a while, this just wasn't what he wanted to end. He needed it too. Or something unspeakable or supernatural could very likely happen out of control if he didn't do something. And mitigate his spread, rather than cause it. He got an unpleasant vibe only from seeing the mountain, which was a little worse every day. Logically preventing the force of negative energy might only be a nonsensical trick, because it might be looking for something or somebody who was supposedly kidnapped or deserted island, and ultimately a waste of time. Because when he got there, would they still be in the state they were during the worst of help? Desperate? But Brad would not ponder if he knew nothing really dwelled up there. There had also been occasional signs that he knew he did not hallucinate. Sometimes that starry sky would form into faces or hard figures that resembled Brad's obligation, like the valley catching fire amongst a hideous grain of pure evil. As cataclysmic as it seemed, his senses still told him to go up there sooner or later somehow, without mountain gear. One morning, Brad reluctantly left his house and walked just 5 minutes or so to get to the foggy, eerily quiet area with a weak bridge and a crooked sign that stated, with a cliche, to turn back to the cliche mobile. This quote-unquote bridge was hardly even a bridge now at all. I can't see the other side, Brad thought. But that was just the point. But it wasn't raggedy at all, or rickety. He tried looking down before crossing into an ocean of fog, and the only thing to see was his entire life. Darkness as far as the eye could see, perpetual dark. If he fell, the first thing that came to mind was that it was pointless to risk his life or even attempt. If it was just darkness, what was the difference if he lived? Oh man, Brad uttered a whisper as cold as the chill and dissipating air. He slowly took his first chance and stepped onto the bridge's melodramatically creaky first damp mossy plank. He had moved fast should one break. But how would he get back across if it broke? Walking across slowly would just endanger him for not being careful. He scurried his way to the other side as quickly as he could. The ropes and planks of the bridge were surprisingly steady under his weight. Not even really swung. He breathed a big sigh of relief. But that's before he locked every door and turned around and saw the monster. He looked down at the cliff's abyss again, and it looked even deeper and more descending cotton-like fog over here. It glowed like the mountain sometimes did. This time, either Brad was really seeing things or he saw a green glow when he looked down. He shuddered as he stood back up from kneeling and continued on. Right away, Brad noticed just how different this location really looked up close, how gloomy, how much more quiet in comparison to the grassy environment around his home. A crow flew by and perched on a scarecrow in an empty field Brad had not seen from the valley. Was something really grow there if planted? Could it? Nobody else seemed to live up here. It wasn't hard to see why, but there was something up here. A couple minutes later, Brad stood in front of the mountain near the entrance. A gaping mouth, neither welcoming nor not welcoming. Just dank. He felt as cautious as anything, as adventurous as Frodo Baggins on his way to Mount Doom. This mountain of impending doom might as well have been called just that by the mere sight of it. Not another bridge, he sighed when he saw one in even worse shape than the one to get here at the moment. This one he had to lead inside, and he could guess all day what was inside. Would his curiosity get the worst of him or the best of him? When he did make himself cross again, it was nothing like he'd expected. It was another, quote, home. A blue light was built into the rocky ceiling to light up this so-called foyer, as if an improvised home one can have, or could have one. There was a huge portrait on the wall that had to be at least 8 feet wide. It was a picture of a middle-aged man wearing a hat, and he had long scraggly hair, a strange smirk on his face. With jagged teeth. Of no real color. And a shirt that said the initials PW. Jeez, Brad uttered. Labeled right under the picture in gold was Professor Eric J. Wickerstone. Conceit alert. This was beginning to deceive Brad. He started to turn back that Purby was too much of a coward, which he wasn't. He wanted to explore. He had already arrived. It was no Albert Einstein, but it was something he certainly didn't trust about this place. It was too easy to tell, no too far to go back without going further. His instincts had told him just to go home after he just heard distant hollow, sinister laughing somewhere above him, either to spite the picture or coincidence. Later that night, a couple of Brad's friends from out of town came to visit and play chess. Their names were Patrick and Zelda, or Zell for short. They were all in their early 20s. Thanks for coming over, Brad said. I sure had a strange day. Oh yeah, why? Patrick wondered. It's complicated, don't worry about it. You can tell us. Brad hesitated and gave in to admitting. Well, okay, I went hiking today and ventured into those mountains. Really, I would have liked to have done that, Zelda said admirably. I don't know, I don't think I liked it that much. It's really creepy up there. What do you mean? What could possibly? It's just mysterious. There's really nothing to see. I'd rather not go back. Even at night, especially not at night. It's too foggy to see anything. Not even right now, Patrick said as it began to rain and the mountain began to glow. No, you shouldn't either, agreed Zelda. I'm only kidding. Do you really dare me to go out there right now and see if there's anything scary? Yes, get soaked in the rain, Zelda dared cynically. I'll show you what's safe. It's always safer there. Like crawling with the mountain lions. You never know when they pounce. They wait and wait and wait. And they see you. The rain worsened and Patrick went outside. About 3 minutes later, he returned indeed, drenched and unharmed. What I tell you is just the weather. Despite if they believe Brad or not, he let it go. You're right, Patrick. There's nothing to worry about. He compromised because his heart told him the polar opposite. How about if we should go back up the mountain tomorrow to see if there's anything is logically there? Zelda suggested there's nothing to grow there, nobody can live there. Unless they found some kind of cultural new way. Now Brad's heart took a javelin leap into his throat. If you want to be sure and face your fears. Kinda, Brad admitted. He didn't want to show them what kind of strange day he had, so he didn't have to explain it.